Greetings. It's noon. We're in Wilsonville, so this must be Wilsonville Live at noon. And yes, Kevin O'Malley, your Wilsonville Chamber of Commerce CEO. I'm very happy today to welcome into the broadcast room, virtual broadcast room that is, Glenn Healey, financial planner, MBA, all-around good guy, chamber member. How you doing, Glenn?
Hey, I'm great, Kevin. Thanks for welcoming me today.
Good. So we have these chats with our local members in their area of expertise, and I happen to be looking at what to do as it makes sense for a mortgage refinance because the interest rates are very low. But the flip side of that is that if you're looking to anyone hoping to make some savings, it's an interesting time because interest rates are really low. So what should they be considering right now? What's happening?
Yeah, Kevin, thanks. So the broad perspective, right? If you're trying to borrow money, whatever means that is, or you have debt, the fact of the matter is these persistent and chronic low interest rates are great.
Yeah.
Right. And as a broad 30,000 foot level, so much is set by the Federal Reserve and the treasuries. And roughly speaking, right now, the 10-year treasury today is somewhere around 0.60, 0.70, and it's chronically low. And I don't think it's a shocker to understand what's going on. We're flooding the money, the market, and the economy with cash to save it, if you will.
Yeah.
But there's always converse, consequences with that too, right?
Sure. So one of the questions we like to check in with our members is, what's new? So let me ask you, what's new at New York Life?
Well, it's probably what's not new. I mean, the fact of the matter is as I do like to say, the big, old, and wonderfully boring part, and that we've been around for 175 years this year. Yep. Where we have over $1 trillion of life insurance in force. We have over $500 billion of assets under management, and yet we don't swing with the times. But in terms of what's new, it's really we've been very accommodating to some of our policy owners in terms of giving them forbearance or periods, zero interest to pay premiums.
Yeah. So going back to my first question about the savings, what are some of the options, for now as you weigh safety and yet still folks want some type of reasonable return?
Yeah, because it's risk versus safety, right? And so basically, everybody that has any money in kind of savings, especially those that are getting Social Security, I like to say, it's being said, savers are being punished, right? So if you're in the bank in the situation, it's not the bank's fault, but getting 1% now is kind of a joke unless you're just putting substantial amounts for extended periods of time.
Okay.
Keep going, or in terms of options, yeah. So there's things such as how can you keep safe and at the same time get something for your money. And so there's these things. Basically, it's a fixed annuity, and that's a loaded word. But essentially,
stop right there because there's as I talk among friends and stuff, annuities. There's a lot of different understandings of what it is. So can you boil it down in 30-second? Annuities for dummies, Kevin.
Absolutely. Well, we all have one. We're taking one, or we're eligible for one. It's called Social Security.
Okay.
And in the old days, well, they're around. It's called pensions.
Yeah.
People would get a paycheck every month. That is an annuity.
Okay.
The company did it. And they got them off their books because they were expensive. They don't, largely speaking, don't provide them.
Okay.
So it's a guaranteed amount of income or a set amount of income that's going to go through either one person's life or that person's life and a spouse.
Okay.
And it's really thought of for basic expenses. But essentially there's two types. There's variable, which are market more based. There are fees. There are guarantees to ensure those kind of fees are market based. That's one arm. And then there's income annuities, which are zero fees on the contract, zero fees.
Okay.
And essentially, there's three components to that, if I can outline.
Sure.
Number one, return of premium. Okay. Number two, the interest.
Okay.
Number three, this thing called mortality or longevity credits, i.e. the longer you live, the more money you're going to get.
Okay. So going back to the question about savings, is the implication that there's an option in that today that's maybe a little different than, I mean, I guess I remember reading in one of the I don't know if it was NerdWallet or Fox Business or Fortune or one of the business things that folks still want to get a return, so they got to be disciplined. They have to be a little bit creative. What are you seeing right now then?
Yeah. The challenge is in the step back. Here's what's going on. Also, we all know what's going on out there in the day to day. The beauty of it is it's a double-edged sword. We're living longer. It's wonderful. Okay. The bad thing is we're living longer, meaning our money has to last longer. And so what do you do, right? And so there's a couple different ways. When we looked at that annuity thing, there's a short-term option,
okay,
which is somewhere, let's just say, depending on the amount, let's call it today, anywhere from 1.3 to 1.9. You can't get projections in more than a week or two in advance right now because things are moving. But and then we're talking, anywhere from a 2 to 3 year commitment. Really call it 3 years. Okay. 1.9 compared to 0.50.
Yeah, we
have to look at it in the context of times. Gone are the days of the nice interest rates in the bank, right?
Right.
Not going to happen.
Right.
The other one is where if you're able to extend the period a little bit longer, then obviously there's more money there. So I think it should be thought of as how soon do you need the money?
Yes.
And think of it as think about the fixed expenses one's going to have throughout their life, and the fact that retirement every day is a Saturday.
Yeah, that is the hope. You want to have your cake and you want to be able to eat it too, right?
Yeah, and the idea of living 10 to 15 years in retirement, which is what different generations did before, and then they passed on, it's no longer the case.
Yeah.
We're living 85, 88, 90, 95 years of age.
Yep. Yes, we have that conversation with my adult children, and it's like, okay, Dad, we want you to last a long time. So folks I just popped up on the screen here. If they want to reach out to you, they got a cell phone contact there, got an email. And for those that don't know, Glenn is not at all, there's no pressure ever. He's very active in our chamber, and he's there to answer questions and kind of give you a different perspective maybe, or reinforce, just basically answer questions, right?
Absolutely. Keep it simple, right?
Right. So again, there are opportunities to have your cake and eat it too, to look at some creative ways to potentially get some higher savings, and all the disclaimers are there. Read everything. We're not providing financial advice today, nor legal advice. We're having an informational conversation. One of our members who's a professional, and when you think about financial services, it's all about trying to get good feedback and good counsel. So we appreciate it today. Thanks, Glenn. We'll see you around the corner. Thanks for joining us today. Right?
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.